I'm going to turn now to our final authors. It's a husband and wife team, the Gausees, Angela and Chris, pastors and authors of Creating Unity, the guide to leading a marriage support group. Hello, pastors. How you doing?
Good.
Good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. You guys give me so much energy, so I feel great today.
Yay.
So, Creating Unity. First of all, I know that the title of this book changed, so I'm going to have you tell me what it's about now that you've gone through the entire process of kind of rethinking it.
Yeah, that's a good question. We originally, when we started, actually, I started writing the book, and I was going to do it from an approach of, I guess, woman to woman, and it just didn't feel right. And it's our lives have impacted so many couples in such a greater way than that I just couldn't exclude his opinions out of it. So I said, okay, I just didn't feel like that was the direction we needed to go in. And so we really wanted to be more impactful in overall and in a greater scale. So when we changed the name a bit, Creating Unity, and the guide to leading a marriage support group, it took it from one-on-one to groups. And that's what we always wanted to do, because as pastors, we understand that you only have so many hours in the day, so many days in a week, and it's just us and so many needs. So we wanted to make it so that someone who was in your congregation or in an organization or wherever they will be, and say, I really want to help marriages, but I really don't know what to do. So the whole point of it is so that someone who really doesn't know how to do this can pick it up and have the tools that they need to help support a pastor or just their friends or whoever on a greater scale than what we could do as just two individuals.
So you've got a couple of, you cover all the basics. You talk about wife's greatest need, husband's greatest need, communication, resolving conflict, protecting love, which is a chapter I'm very interested in, money,
Yeah.
why budget, a whole chapter on sex.
Right.
Obstacles, and really, what are the next steps for a person who is trying to do this? So it's really the primer on the topic. If anyone out there is interested in, leading a marriage support group or is part of a marriage support group and you're not quite sure if your leaders know what they're talking about, read the book.
Read the book.
Right?
It's a great book.
It's a fantastic book. I love it so
Thank
much.
you.
What I want to do is go ahead and play a sample of the audio, and I'm going to come back and ask you a couple more questions.
Okay.
All right.
They were giving so much energy to the place of hurt instead of the place of healing. They were holding on to the past as a reminder of where they never wanted to return to. In reality, they had never left that place. They never allowed those old wounds to heal. They together kept picking away at the scabs. We asked them if they were ready for change. They agreed that they were, but didn't know how. The first step to healing is forgiveness, and they were willing to do whatever it took to move on.
So I want to make sure that I would be just remiss if I didn't mention the fact that you two are a very blended family. So that not only you have the credibility of having done this work, but also you've had to put it into practice and,
Yes.
get all them kids together. How many are there?
6.
6 boys.
Yeah. 6
I'm
sons.
one. I'm a lot. So like, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Tell me about kind of how that situation and that experience informed you as you were writing this book.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think when we first pulled our families together, it's a lot to pull, two completely different, not just families, but different families of different races and different dynamics together. But the greatest tool that I'm going to say he taught me was that we have to stick together no matter what's happening. Tell him your phrase that you always say about the foxhole.
Yeah, I always say that, don't look at each other as your problem, look at what the problem is and handle it together. That's why I always tell her, you know, she's my foxhole buddy to stay with me and help us conquer this problem.
And that was the greatest tool that he introduced me to, is that, you know, when I would get angry at him because I've got all these kids and all these problems and what did I get myself into? And he would always remind me, it's not the kids that's the problem. We're not each other's enemy. Let's stick together and tackle the problem together. And that's just a golden key that so many people don't understand and get. So we always remind them every time we get a couple that comes in, you know, let's just look at the real issue instead of looking at each other as an issue.
So you are actively working with clients right now. Tell me a success story. Tell me about some folks that were on the verge, but you pulled them back. Tell me something good.
Yeah, well, right. We had a couple that it was very a sad case. They had come over. Actually, they didn't know us and we didn't know them. But someone said, well, I don't know what to do, but I know who does. And they said, you have to go see the Yowzies. And they called and they came in. And I mean, it was just like this walk of death. And they came through the door and they sat on the couch, one in one corner, one in the other. And the wife had been having an affair. And it seemed in her mind, this is going to be the death of our marriage. And 2.5 hours later, they walked out of our home holding hands, and they stopped when they got on the porch and they said, wait, what just happened? And because they never thought that could ever happen. And they're still together, they're leaders. You know, that's what we're finding is when we first started writing the book, we just really thought we were going to be helping leaders to develop other leaders in their congregation. However, it's turning out to be that we're working with leaders as well, because they don't have anywhere to go. You know, the leaders are supposed to know how to do this. So the leaders are coming to us, and it's a safe environment. It's a place where they can just really be honest and transparent and fix problems that they've buried for years because they have nowhere to go.
I'm so proud of you for this book. I think it is so good. I will absolutely be reading this.
Yeah.
I like the idea of a foxhole buddy. I was like, I'm gonna steal all of this. So thank you very much.
Yeah. You know, we've gotten so much support for the book.
Yeah.
It's just really just blowing our minds. You know, we just think, wow, God, you know, us. But the local bank, West Banco, the vice president of the bank, she read the book. She says, oh my gosh, I love this book. And she has been supporting us financially. Saber Kershaw is her name. If I just give her some props. And then we had a story, one of the 5th largest healthcare organizations in the United States wrote a story on our book a couple weeks ago and ran it on their site. So, you know, we're just blown away by the acceptance of what we're doing and our mission. So yeah, we've been pretty blessed.
Beautiful. I am so proud of you. Congratulations to you both. Keep doing the work you're doing. This book is absolutely obviously helping people. If you can pull them back from the brink in 2.5 hours, imagine what a book can do. All of these books, as you all know, are free for the first 20 people to request them. So I admire you, and congratulations, Pastor Angela and Pastor Chris.
Thank you.